Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Falling for Books. For today's video I am talking about music and books. I just kind of wanted to have a discussion about if you guys listen to music while you read or that kind of stuff, and then I want to share some books and some songs that I have tied together. So I actually listen to music when I read when I'm in a car. So if I'm like on a road trip or I'm just like reading in the car, like obviously I'm not driving, but I will listen to one song on repeat the entire time I read one book. I don't change the song, I don't do anything. If I'm changing the book, I change the song. But I listen to one song for one book and that's just how it is. I feel like it's just easier, it helps me concentrate more. Usually when I'm on a road trip, I'm not alone, so like I'm with my family. So I kind of just listen to music to tune them out, and then also so I can just focus on the book. And I feel like eventually it helps me get into like the mood, if that makes sense. So do you guys have any like songs that you listen to that reminds you of a book or that you listened to while reading said book? Like let me know in the comments because I'm really curious. I'm going to share with you guys 4 books that I have with 4 songs. I went on a road trip to Vancouver and to Los Angeles. Vancouver was like 3 days and LA was like almost a week, I think. I think it was like 4 or 5 days of driving, if I remember. And sadly, I don't remember any of the books and songs I read during that trip. I remember the books that I read, but I don't remember the songs I have attached to those ones. However, I do remember the ones attached with my Vancouver trip. And then I have a couple going to like Edmonton that I have like 2 that I have really specific songs for. So the first book I'm going to start with is Hades by Alexandra Doneto. This is book 2 in the Halo trilogy. This book I read on the way to Vancouver, and I think I was halfway through when I started the trip, and then I finished it, obviously. But I remember listening to Run This Town with Kanye West featuring Jay-Z and Rihanna. Like that song is this book for me. I listened to that song on repeat the entire time I read this book. And so whenever I hear that song, I think of like the odd scene in this book, because it just like it takes me back. It's so crazy. It's so weird how music does that. I feel like it does that for real life things. Like if you're at a party and you hear the song and then it like you hear it again somewhere and it reminds you of that time. It's so weird. I don't understand how music is like that. It's kind of strange. Okay, so this I have with Run This Town. Divergent was when I went to Vancouver as well. And this I only read like half of it, because we were on the way back already, so I had only started half of it. And for this, it was Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. And still to this day when I hear that song, I think of this book. I think of certain scenes in this book. I think also even when I was home, I would listen to that song while reading it just in my bedroom, because it was just like so tied together for me. I feel like that's also a great song for this book anyways. It would have been a great song to have on the soundtrack, but yeah. Next is a more recent one. I read this about 2 years ago, I think. I think it's been 2 years. And that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. For this, I have Hearts Beat Slow by Angus and Julia Stone. It's sometimes really hard for me to listen to that song even now, because it's so haunting for me, because I tie that song with this book so much that it's actually hard for me to listen to that song on its own, because I'm just constantly reminded of this book. And there's actually a couple other songs on that specific album by Angus and Julia Stone that remind me of this book. I can't think of them right now, but there are a few that remind me of this book, because I think I listened to them after I had just finished this and I was like, I like have all these emotions. So yeah, I definitely pair this up with Hearts Beat Slow. Like when I go on a road trip, I specifically pick a song for each book. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna listen to this artist. Let me just pick one of their songs. I try to pick like more alternative music now, or like singer-songwriter music. So that's why I picked Angus and Julia Stone for this book, and Hearts Beat Slow just kind of spoke to me, and I decided to listen to it while reading this, and now I'm like forever haunted and changed, and I can't listen to that song without thinking of this book. It's so bad. And the last book I have to talk about is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is also another book I read last year. Yes, last year. And this I also read on the way to Edmonton and on the way back. And this was White Lie by the Lumineers. And I still can't listen to that song either without not thinking of this book. Like it just brings me to the setting of this book. And this book is actually quite sad, especially in the beginning. So I'm just like, I go into like this sad, depressive mode. When I listen to White Lie, I'm like, I can't listen to it. I think that's a problem with reading Donna Tartt books and then listening to music at the same time. It's like I'm forever like a new person, and I can't listen to certain songs or artists anymore because it just reminds me of this way too much. It reminds me way too much of her books. Let me know if there's any songs that you have tied with books. If it's just a song that reminds you of a book, or a song that you actually listen to while reading a book, please let me know in the comments. I'm always curious. I love tying music and books together. I just think it's so like artsy. I really love it. So yeah, these were my books that I had tied with some songs, and yeah, I really love listening to music and reading at the same time on a road trip. It gives me like such like vibes. I don't know, I really love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this random little video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one.